What's happening, fellow Phoenix? If we have a tool or a program at our disposal that I'm most excited to share with you, it's definitely Canva.com. Canva has so many opportunities for teachers and for students to show what they know in so many different ways. And honestly, you can take it home with you too. You can use it for social media. You can use it for whatever you want. If you see an advertisement or logo development on a website or something like that, there's a good chance it came from Canva. It was built in Canva. Canva Pro, which we all have access to because we have an educator account, gives us access to all the tools that Canva has to offer. You may create an account with a personal email, and that's sort of a limited, you got to pay for Pro or whatever, but we get it because we have a school account. Canva for Education is the same thing as Canva Pro. So here we are at the main page of canva.com, and it gives you a jump start right away. You might want to try a doc, a whiteboard, creating a video, an infographic, Facebook post presentation, YouTube thumbnail, mobile video. You can make it that size, flyers, Instagram stories, Instagram reels, Instagram posts. It's able to, it has the sizes, all the pixel sizes and everything already preset so that you can make designs that are tailored to the medium or the way in which you want to share your content. Now, students, that for students, you might do posters or infographics or exit ticket. I think it provides a lot of opportunities to show, for our students to show what they know, and for us to convey material in new and interesting, fun ways to students. So let's go ahead and I'll show you what this looks like. Before I dive into create a design, because that's likely where you'll start, should point out what's going on over here. There's an AI component. They call it Magic Studio. We're going to get into a little bit of that at the end of this video. So over here, you've got projects, and that's just the same as, think of this as like your Google Drive left side. You can create folders in here. You can name folders and everything will go there. You create designs right within folders. It works out great. Really easy way to keep things organized. I'm not going to do that at the moment. I'm going to go over here to create a design. And let's say I've got a bunch of information. I've got a bunch of research. I'm a student who wants to find an interesting way to convey what I know. Maybe I would have chosen tagboard and cut out pieces of paper and pictures and markers and whatever and drawn on it. Well, now I've got a way that I can make it really clean cut, really customizable. I can make it more interactive. Canva provides all of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this infographic one, but of course there's a ton of these that you can choose. But like I said, I'm going to go to infographic here. Okay, now I'm at this page. This is what it opens to. All of my tools over on the left. I've got all this research. I've got all this data. I've got these ideas, but I'm not creative. And what I'm staring at right now is a blank canvas. It's like, what do I do? Well, over on the left here is templates. I can go through and I can find the template that I think fits for me. History, health, food, science, Christmas, education, schooling. It gives you a bunch of options, or you can search it up here as well. Under styles, you can look at different color combinations and all of that. So I'm going to stick with templates, and I'm going to just choose punctuation guide. I can go ahead and make it my own. It's fully customizable. I'm going to move that over here, move this down. Let's say I want to, customize it to my classroom in particular. I'm going to go ahead and click that, change it to Mr. Doimer's punctuation guide. I don't know. Up here, some pretty cool options that you have. You can move it just the same as you would in any word processing app. Underline, bold, change the size, change the font. We have access to all the fonts, again, because we have the Canva Pro function. Bulleted list, things like that. Effects, this is kind of neat. So I choose neon and then change the intensity of all of that. Lift, and you're probably thinking, probably starting to realize the possibilities here, that it's literally endless. There are so many things that you can do here. I can add a little background to it and change that, and it gives me the color palette that fits the poster that's already there. It kind of knows that ahead of time, so that's kind of cool. I can change the roundness of my background and kind of see it back there changing. The spread, how big I want it, transparency,
there. It's kind of gone. Now it's there. It's as dark as it'll get. Can also go down to shape. Oh, I want to maybe curve that text. So there's just so many options. And this is, I'm showing you a little bit of what is available here with Canva. We can animate it. So, but that's going to change. That's going to change something down the road. So I don't necessarily want to mess with that right now, because right now we'll just stick with PDFs or images. So we won't worry about that, because that kind of makes it into a video and MP4. So we won't worry about animating it at the moment. What if I wanted to overlay? You know, I can put that there, position it, and we can go to back. There, it's gone. Forward, but it's not totally in front of everything. We can go back to the front. I can also go to layers. So I could make it, I can move it around. You can kind of see guide is in front there. You can kind of see if I move it like within guide or in front of guide that it does move there. So we'll put that back. You can see that I've customized it. I've made it my own. Now what I want to do is go to share, because I want to print this. I want to upload it to Schoology. I want to send it to wherever it needs to be sent. It has to get out of my Canva account and go where I need it to go. So I'm going to go to share. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit, download, and there's a few different ways, file types that I can download this, whether it's a PNG or a picture formats or PDF formats. Honestly, don't know much about SVG, but it's there. So I'm going to go and download. I'm going to stick with PDF print, hit download, give it a second to do that. You can change it however you want to name it. We'll just go with that. However, one of the things that you'd want to do, I should have said this beforehand, and of course we know that on Macs it goes up to our downloads here. You can title your design. I should have maybe titled it punctuation design. Now, not only is this in my computer hard drive,
it is also back sort of, I can access it from my home page. It's in my Canva account. If you think of it as Google Drive, right? You've got the Google G Suite. You've got your Drive, which within that you can go to different folders. You can go to Docs. You can go to Forms. You can go to Sheets. I'm going to work my way back home, and now I'm going to I can show you the projects right here. You will see what you just created. It's also right down here at recent designs. But you can create folders and everything right in that. So that's a cool option. It's a way to keep things organized. It does a really good job of that. And of course, there are many, many ways that we can use Canva for education, and we're going to dive into that here right now. Following that, we'll give you a little bit of insight into Magic Studio. Again, this is so robust that I can't possibly do it justice with, one, my own knowledge of what Canva can do, and two, with the amount of time that you have. So let's take a look at a few Canva shortcuts for education.
We're going to kick it off with hack number 1, magic shortcuts. These are some fun little things you can incorporate when you are presenting slides to students. In order to demonstrate this, I'm just going to open up a random template that's already available in Canva. So I'm going to search angles, and I'm going to filter it to show me just presentations. And we'll use this one. I'm going to click customize this template. It's going to save an editable copy to my Canva account. And let's go ahead and apply all 13 pages just so I have some things to work with. From here, I'm going to present the slides. So I'm going to click the present full screen button down at the bottom. And now I'm able to utilize these magic shortcuts. The first one being timers. If you click any number on your keyboard between 0 and 9, it will automatically display a timer for that length of time. So for example, if I click 5, it's going to show me a 5-minute timer. If I click 3, it's going to show me a 3-minute timer. From here, you can still adjust it. So you can add or subtract a minute using these buttons here. If you need a specific number of seconds, so maybe I want 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you can click where the seconds are, type in the specific amount you want, and it is fully customizable. You can click play to start the timer, and it will have this little countdown circle that starts to move around. You can pause it. You can also reset the timer, and you can adjust the sound up top. If you want to get rid of the timer, you can either click the minimize button and it will disappear, or on my keyboard, if I click a number such as 5, it's going to pop that timer up, but I can click 5 again in order to make the timer disappear. Then there's some really fun little animations that you can have displayed on your slides using these keyboard shortcuts. The first one of my favorites, is confetti, because who doesn't love confetti? On my keyboard, I'm just going to click C. and you will see the confetti pop on the screen, and there are also sound effects, which of course you don't have to use. You can turn your sound off if you don't want them. But a few of my other favorites include the mic drop, which if I click M, it shows me that mic drop animation. There also is a drum roll if you click D. There are bubbles if you click O, which I know it's a little bit of kind of an anomaly because it doesn't have the letter B, but if you think about it, bubbles are shaped like the letter O. Let's say your students are working and you need them to be a little bit quieter or get their attention. You can click Q to get the quiet sign. And you can also use magic shortcuts in order to kind of hide some of your information. So for example, if I'm advancing to the next slide, but maybe I don't want to show it to them yet, I can click B in order to blur the content, and I can click B again to unblur it. Or if I have blurred a slide like this, and I advance to the next slide, it will automatically unblur. You can also click U in order to get a curtain that's going to cover the slide. And whenever you are ready to like reveal it, you can click U again, and it will unveil the slide underneath. But at any time, if you forget, you also have a reference within Canva's present mode. So if I bring my mouse down to the bottom, I'm gonna get this little bar. I can click the keyboard. That's gonna show me those magic shortcuts, and then I can click it again in order to get rid of it. Hack number 2 is the remote controller. This is gonna allow me to control my slides from my phone or a tablet. So in order to access the remote controller, once again, I'm gonna come down to the bottom in order to get this bar. I'm gonna click the 3 dots, which is the more button, and I'm gonna click share remote control. It may take a second or two, but it will say available and give me a QR code or a link. I can either scan the QR code with my phone's camera, or I could copy and paste the link onto another device, but I'm gonna show you how this works with my phone. Now, I do recommend already having the Canva app downloaded, but you're gonna open up the camera on your phone, go ahead and scan the QR code, open up that link. It's gonna open the Canva app, and from here you have a virtual remote controller. So you can advance slides. I can click and advance the slides, and it is controlling it on my computer. I can go forward or backward, but I can also use those magic shortcuts, which I think is very helpful. So if I click magic shortcuts, I could do the confetti, or I could do the drum roll. And this is a really convenient way to use those magic shortcuts while presenting. Hack number 3 is editing a PDF. Canva will allow you to upload a PDF and then go in and manipulate it and edit it. So I'm going to show you how this works with an example. Let's say I had a PDF of a math homework sheet I had given to my students. Within Canva, I'm back on the home page. I'm going to click upload, and then I'm going to go ahead and choose the file. I'm going to go to my downloads and choose math homework, open. It will take a second in order to upload to my Canva. But from here, I can now click and open up this design. Even though it was a PDF, now I'm able to go in and manipulate these text boxes. And you will notice it's not perfect. Depending on the fonts that were in the PDF, there may be some things that are not an exact match, but for the most part, it does a good job. So for example, where it says math homework, it's not completely centered in the black bar, but I can just click and drag in order to kind of move it around where I want it to go. But I can now come in and edit any of these text boxes. So I could change February to September, and I could do September 1st to, let's go all caps, to the 5th, and I can edit those text boxes. I can also delete any elements I don't need. So maybe I don't need the name box up here. I can get rid of that, or I could add additional elements. So I could add an image. Let's go to, maybe I'm doing some angles and I want like a protractor. I could add in that photo onto the slide. So this is really helpful if you only have the PDF version of a file and it's not editable, but you need to make some changes. Once you have made any changes that you want to make, you can then re-export it as a PDF or even as an image just by going to share, coming to download, and then choosing the file type. So for example, I could choose PDF print, and I can download it. And now if I go into my downloads, I have both versions of that file. So I had that original math homework sheet, but I also have the new one where I made changes. Hack number 4 is AI, or artificial intelligence integration. And there are a few ways that AI is actually integrated into Canva. I'm gonna show you 2 different ways, but there are some more features that are coming because Canva is constantly expanding. The first one is called Magic Write, which is almost like ChatGPT built into Canva. So you can use this within docs or presentations, and I'm gonna show you how it works in each one. I'm gonna go ahead and create just a blank presentation. So I'm going to click create a design, choose presentation. Within the presentation, I need to open up the Canva assistant. So I'm going to click this little circle down here that has the little sparklies on it, and I can type in, or you may see it under recommended, magic, and then you should see Magic Write. Once you click that, you can go ahead and type in your prompt. So maybe I'm using this presentation to design a permission slip. I could write a permission slip for a 4th grade field trip to the Museum of Natural History. Click generate. It will take a few seconds, but it's going to give you an outline. Of course, you can go in and actually edit this and make any changes as needed, but it at least gives you a starting point. Similarly, you can access this within a doc. So I'm going to go back to home, and this time under create a design, I'm going to choose doc. From here, I can actually click that plus sign, and once again, I can type in magic, or you may already see it recommended to you. Select magic write, and you can type in that prompt. So for example, create a list of fall writing prompts for 4th grade students. Click generate, and it will go ahead and type out that text. Once again, I can go in, edit it, manipulate it, but it at least gives me some ideas. So this is a really handy feature for brainstorming or just trying to come up with some new ideas in order to save yourself a little bit of brain power. The other form of AI is called Magic Design, but that is only available within the presentations, not the docs. So in order to model this for you, I'm gonna go back home, and I'm gonna once again create a presentation. I'm gonna click on that Canva Assistant. But this time I'm going to select Magic Design. It's going to automatically generate a slideshow based on the prompt I give it. So this is really helpful as a starting base if you're trying to create lesson slides. I find it really handy for things that maybe you don't know a lot about. I know when I taught 4th grade social studies, it was all about the history of Maryland, and there was a lot I had to teach myself before I taught my students. So for example, I might type the Battle of Baltimore in the War of 1812. I can click enter, and it's going to automatically create a presentation with not only designs, but also information for me. I will say, sometimes they're not the best, and you definitely got to check it for accuracy, but once again, it gives you a starting point. So from these different options, maybe I really like this one. Ooh, the Battle of Baltimore, a turning point in American history. That's intriguing. From here, I have slides with some background information, some images, but I can customize it. So if this is the one I want to go with, I can click create my presentation. It's going to insert those slides in for me. And from here, I can make any changes. So I can change out images, change the text, add in additional slides. But once again, it's a starting point. I will say these are both in beta mode, so they are constantly making improvements. And I definitely see this getting even better in the future. And one other little thing I wanted to show you, there are some AI apps built into Canva. So within my presentation, if I click on apps and then I search, and actually it's featured right here, I can click on avatars and it will give me like a virtual presenter who will present my slides for me. So I can click open. From here, I can choose my presenter, so I could use this lady right here. I can type in a script and they will automatically read it for me. So play around because there are tons of options available.
So there's a few ways that you can use Canva in the classroom, both as a teacher and maybe, you know, make your students do some of that stuff as well. They've got Canva Pro just the same as we do, so they can do anything that was presented there just now. At one point in the video, she also mentioned Magic Design. Magic Design is the AI component that you can use more with images than sort of on the teacher side, or with Magic Write, for example. Magic Design is pretty cool. Here are a few ways that we can use that as well. We have this again because we have Canva Pro. All of this is available to you as long as you're logged in on your ISD account.
Tools, and that is Magic Grab. So let's say we're here inside of Canva, we've got our blank canvas, and we want to select a photo that we want to use. So let's select this photo of the coffee cup. And what we can do with Magic Grab is while we have this photo selected, we can come up here to edit photo. And when we click on edit photo in the top left here, we see our photo editor menu with lots of different options pop up. So this is where we're going to find Magic Grab. So then we can select Magic Grab, and it automatically selects the subject of the photo, which we can then just grab and drag around as we please. So we can either take this off the photo and just use the background of the photo and put something else layered on top, or we could delete that background and just use the subject of the photo however we'd like. So this is a really amazing feature because before we would have had to use the background remover and actually go through the process of removing that background with the background remover, and then we would have this, but now we can just easily grab and pull this around where we'd like it to be. We can also use multiple photos to switch things around. So let's say I have this other photo here of a coffee cup as well, and I've got this one that I just used. I can use my Magic Grab like I just did for this one. So let's come up to edit photo, Magic Grab. I can then bring this coffee cup away and delete that. Let's say I like this coffee cup better, but I want it to appear on this background. Then I can come over to this one, also use my Magic Grab here to grab this coffee cup. I'm going to drag the coffee cup over here, delete this background, and then I can work with this photo background and my new coffee cup to arrange it in the picture how I'd like it to be. All right, moving on to AI tool number 2, which is Magic Morph. We can find the Magic Morph tool by coming over to our left-hand menu here and clicking on apps. Right now it's showing up right here because it's one of the featured apps, but you can always search in the Canva apps as well for Magic Morph if you don't see it here. But we'll click to open Magic Morph. So the process here is if we have a design already created here, we can select an element or a piece of text in our design to use and morph it into something else. But for this demo, we're just going to try a test element here. So let's add a star. And while that is selected, I'm going to come to step number 2, which is describe the look. So here I'm going to input a prompt that I want it to morph my star into. So I want my star to be filled with bright rays of sunshine. So I'm going to put that, and then I'm going to click Magic Morph. And then here on the left-hand side, we can see the 4 different images that it's given me. So it's taken my star shape and actually used AI to put some bright rays of sunshine in. So let's say like this one, I can add it to my design and use it however I like inside my design. This also works for text as well. So let's add some text here. We've got an example. Make this say whatever we like. let's say happy birthday. And then again, we're gonna come to step number 2 and describe what look we want it to have. So let's try inflatable rose gold party balloon and see what it generates for us. And here we've got our 4 different options. If we click to add one to the canvas here, we can see if we scale this up a little bit, how this actually does look like an inflatable balloon in our rose gold color. Each of these different options is slightly different, so you can click to add and see which one you like the best and go with that. Now let's say maybe we want our happy birthday to be in an ocean wave design. I could put blue ocean waves, and let's see what it comes up with for this style. And here we've got 4 different options for an ocean wave style. So if we click on it, let's check out the details here. So we can see it's in ocean wave colors, and we can even see some little intricate details on the ends of the letters that look like little swirls or wave designs. So Magic Morph is just so fun to play around with and try out different styles for text or for elements in shapes. Okay, moving on to tool number 3, which is called Magic Expand. So we can use Magic Expand with a photo. So let's add again this coffee cup image. And before, if I was working with, let's say, an Instagram story size canvas, but I had a horizontal photo like this, it would be really frustrating because I can't just click to expand the photo without it being cropped off to fit the canvas size. So if I'm wanting this photo to take up the whole canvas size, I'm gonna have to be okay with a lot of it being cropped out. But with Magic Expand, I can come again with my photo selected up to the top left where it says edit photo, and then I can come over to where it says crop. And now I've got an expand feature here. So I switch over to expand, and then I can select the size I want this photo to expand to. So I can select freeform, I can select it to expand to the whole page, or I can select a specific size here. So let's just try to expand this to the whole page and see what happens. And we can see how now Canva has used AI to expand and add parts to the photo on the top and the bottom. And we've got 4 different options here. So these are all slightly different. We can look for the one that looks the most natural and that fits what look we're going for. So I think this actually looks pretty good. One thing to remember is that AI tools are constantly being developed and made better. So some areas of the photo may look a little bit interesting, but it should be getting better and better over time. And I think this is a really cool tool to be able to use for the purpose of expanding and taking up a whole different size canvas. If we don't like the results that it gave us, we can always click to generate new results again until we're happy with one of the options that it generates. The next tool is really useful. This is called Magic Switch. So we can find Magic Switch up here in the top left corner. And if you're familiar with Canva at all, this is actually where the Magic Resize button used to be, but now it's renamed to Magic Switch. So if we click on this, we can still see all of the Magic Resize options that we would have had before. So maybe you've used this before where you could resize whatever you're working on into a totally different size. So let's say you wanted to change your slide presentation into some social media graphics. You could have easily done that with Magic Resize. So we still have all of the resize features here, but also under the new Magic Switch, we've got the ability to translate our design into another language. So that's just an easy one-click translation for the entire design. So here I have pulled up a slide presentation that I've created. I could easily go to translate, select the language that I'd like it to translate to, and then apply to page. I can apply it to one page in my design or all pages, and then I can click translate and the entire thing will be translated instantly. I can also go to transform into a doc. So if I want to take, let's say, something like this slide presentation, and I want to use the information that I've created inside the slide presentation to transform it into a document, I would come to this option, transform into doc, and then I can select the text format. So I can choose summary, blog post, poem, all text, email, or song lyrics. So let's say I want to make this into a blog post. I can select that, click transform into doc, and then once it's ready, I'll click open doc. And here I can see the document that has all the information that was pulled from my slides. So instead of having to go and manually create a document out of this information, Canva's Magic Switch tool gives it to me in one click, which saves so much time. All right, moving on to our next AI tool, which is called Magic Media. So when we're in Canva, if we come to apps again, we can search for Magic Media by typing that in, click on Magic Media, and this will bring up the AI prompt to image or prompt to videos tool. It used to be called text to image, but now it's called Magic Media, and we have the capability to create an image or a video within this one app. So the images area looks like what we were already familiar with, but now we have the option for videos. So we can click over to videos and create a video completely with AI. So all we have to do here is put in our prompt to describe what we want the video to be. So I might say something like red and white race car in the desert. Then I can click generate video. And here it's generated a video with our prompt. So I can click to add this to my canvas that I'm working on and click to play. And there it is. So as I said before, it may look a little wonky because sometimes AI tools take a little while to develop, but I think for this tool still being in beta at the time of this filming and just giving it a few words of a prompt, this video is actually pretty interesting. If I'm not happy with it and I want to try something else, I can always come back here and try a different prompt. So let's say flower growing in garden. So here we've got our video of the flower. And we can either use this or continue generating until we've gotten a video that we're happy with. I already loved the fact that we could do this with the text to image, and now I think it's really neat that they have the video capability, and I'm sure it'll only get better as it continues to improve. Okay, our next tool is Magic Design for presentations. We've seen Magic Design before, but this is specifically for presentations. So let's say I start a presentation on Canva, and just for this example, let's imagine I'm someone who wants to make a presentation on how to start your own hair salon. But maybe I don't really know exactly where to start with creating this presentation, so I can start my project as a presentation in Canva and then come over to Design on the left-hand menu. Then I can describe what I'm looking for in the search bar. So I might say how to start your own hair salon. Now under the results that pop up, I can see the Magic Design category. So if I click on one of the suggested Magic Designs and click apply all 7 pages, then it instantly gives me the presentation that it created for me based on the prompt that I typed in. So we can see here our title slide, starting your own hair salon, a step-by-step guide. We can go through and see the introduction, talking about market research, identifying your target audience, developing a business plan, how to create a business plan. And we've even got photos that match the topic that I typed in, funding, choosing a location, creating an inventory list, and even an in slide thanking the audience member for considering starting their own hair salon. So here we can see how the use of AI can drastically cut down on hours of work as opposed to starting a presentation like this and creating it from scratch on your own. Now, of course, you would probably want to take this and make your own changes to put in the right colors, add your branding, and maybe even switching out some of the wording or photos and adding specific slides that you might want in there. But this is an amazing starting place that gives you something to
All right, well, there you have it. Thanks to my 2 co-hosts who you just saw before this. They can present the material and create videos better than I'd ever be able to. So it was nice to use what they had already done and use that to kind of show everything that Canva can do. And it's actually not even really everything, but it's a lot that Canva can do. I suspect that we will end up doing a lot of Canva videos going forward. There's a possibility that we dig deeper into Canva with each of the quarterly tech meetings going forward here, because there's just so much. In the beginning of the video, you saw a couple of ways, mostly that we can use it for social media purposes, which is actually kind of a cool thing. There's a lot of different effects and animations and ways that we can use Canva to create some cool imagery. If any of that's of interest to you, or anything that you saw about presentations, or anything that you saw with Magic Design, the AI component there, if you have questions about any of that, or any of that you want to know more about, reach out to me, and we can look into how you can use that for yourself or in your classroom. Thanks for watching.